Bum. Elz Tells, Elz Tells, Elz Tells. What you telling? Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Elz Tells.
You've got a really annoying bit of hair that's just like right in the middle of your forehead.
Your new favourite podcast with me, Elz. Today we are going to be talking about Disney princess films, and we are going to be ranking our top 10 Disney princess films.
There was a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from.
But it was very easy. I found this very easy.
I found this difficult. I really did find this tough.
Harder than Pixar.
Harder than Pixar.
Harder than rom-com.
Harder than rom-com.
Oh no. Princess films is easy.
First of all, we need to talk about official princesses. Are you aware of this?
No. Enlighten me.
Some princesses are official, some are unofficial.
Tell me.
Here's the list of official. Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Moana, Raya, Anna and Elsa.
Who's not official?
Unofficial, Megara.
What, from Hercules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unofficial. Oh, Esmeralda isn't even on this list, so she's obviously not. There are probably people like, well, they're not princesses.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't consider them princesses.
Basically, they do it by if you have like a big act of sort of like heroism as well. Because like Mulan's not a princess.
No, she's not.
But she's a heroine. So that's kind of how they do it.
Right.
So then you've got Kida, Alice, Jane, Tinkerbell. They're not princesses.
Tinkerbell is not a princess.
Basically, back in the day...
Jane is not a princess.
Back in the day, Tinkerbell used to be on a lot of the merch and stuff with the princesses.
Right.
So people are like, okay, is she like an honorary princess? Because Anna and Elsa, they's queens.
But they were princesses.
Also, Asha from Wish does not count. Officially, not a princess. Because obviously she's not in the film, and basically they've said no, she's not a princess. Do I feel like it's a shame? Like a Disney 100 film, and you haven't made a new princess? I do think that's a shame. Let's start with overhated, shall we?
Yep.
Princess films. So we're talking about the whole film, not the princess alone. We're talking about the film.
Yeah, this is top 10 princess films.
Yeah. Overhated. Snow White.
No.
So overhated.
No,
I don't understand.
That's in my overrated.
What?
It's awful.
But people hate on that film.
Yeah, good. Thank you. No, it's awful.
In what way?
It's so old. And it's so bad.
Yeah, it was the first.
The songs are so bad. Her singing,
no.
she's like,
someday my prince will come.
That's the only good bit.
Someday my prince. Yeah.
Sing any other songs.
I'm wishing.
Yeah, that's the worst bit.
No. Hi ho, it's off to work we go. Hi ho.
No, it's still bad.
Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho.
It's terrible.
Bad how? That's so catchy.
It's just so old, and the animation is old, and it's slow, and it's all...
No,
I disagree. Orchestral. Like, there's not even any, like... Do you know what I mean? Like, that was when it was, like, back in, when they were just doing, like...
It captures a different vibe, and it's a different vibe in a different time, but I personally think it's absolutely beautiful. I think people hate on Snow White, but I love the fact that her voice is different. I don't want all of the princess voices to sound like Anna and Rapunzel, who are very, like, quirky, and they're like, and, like, quirky. Do you know what I mean?
Such a good impression.
Thanks. No, but do you know what I mean? They all have that, like, quirky girl next door vibe, and a lot of them have that these days.
Thoughts on new Snow White live action?
Do you know what? I do want to do a whole episode on Disney live actions. I'm excited. Do you know why? Because Rachel Zegler, I know she's had a few controversial interviews.
I love Rachel Zegler,
and she may be misstepped, but she has an incredible voice.
Yep.
I really like her.
I just hope she doesn't try and do it in that style of, I wish.
No, she won't.
Like, please do it as her.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like you say, she's good at singing.
I do think they made the wrong choice when initially they were going to have, like, it was like Snow White and the 7, like, magical creatures or something. It wasn't the dwarves.
No.
And now they've CGI'd in the dwarves. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought this was live action. And you've now CGI'd in the dwarves. It's like I had loads of issues with the Mulan live action because...
Don't say that. That's on my overhated. We're already clashing.
The live action Mulan is on your overhated.
Mm-hmm. It's not that bad.
It's really bad.
No, it's not that bad.
I'll tell you why. They said they took out the songs to make it more realistic. Or when having a different villain. And then it's like some weird witch woman. Bear in mind, I've only watched it once. Okay, don't have interest in watching it again. They took out Mushu to replace it with a phoenix. But the phoenix is and isn't there. It's all very wishy-washy. I feel like they didn't pick a lane. Like, imagine seeing, right, a live action version of I'll Make a Man Out of You. It would have blown my mind.
I think there were definitely mistakes. I don't think it deserves all the hate it gets. Putting in Bori Khan instead of Shan Yu, when Shan Yu is arguably the best villain of Disney of all time.
And they said they wanted to make it more realistic, and then there's no blood.
No, that's because it's a kids' film, isn't it?
Don't be afraid to put blood on the screen. They're doing a war.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? You know, live actions, it's going to instantly be for that more mature audience. You're doing a thing about war, and you can't keep it for kids.
What is it good for?
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. What did Mulan give to me that builds on the story, shows it from a different angle? Nothing. It adds nothing.
I think the director misled people when she said, we want to be more realistic. Because like the Huns were doing things like running up the walls of a castle, which is very Chinese Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, very authentic to that kind of Hong Kong style of film, which I love. That's not realistic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So I think she maybe just chose the wrong wording and said maybe want to be more authentic to live action Chinese action films.
It was so messy, and I feel like it was such a shame.
Doesn't deserve the hate it gets though. The girl who plays her is amazing.
It's nothing against any of the creators or like anything like that. It's just what I wanted from a live action Mulan was not anything that gave me. Wish and Asha, even though she's not a princess, Wish in general, because I would see that as a princess film.
Does that get hated?
Are you kidding?
Because I haven't put it on any list here because
Everyone hates Wish.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's a great film.
I would put that on this list then, if people are hating on it.
Well, you can't really, technically, 'cause she's not a princess. I'm just mentioning it because I feel like it gets so much hate that isn't deserved.
What for?
People don't like the songs.
Terrible. Like, why?
I'm a Star is one of my top 10
Good film.
songs.
It's written by is it Julia Michaels?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic songwriter. She's brilliant.
So
And the guy she worked with as well.
people don't like the songs. People don't like the villain. I love him.
Yeah, really good. Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Who is Magnifico.
Magnifico.
Yeah, really good.
I will say that the style is very dark. Like in terms of actual visuals, it feels dark. It's all very like purple, but it gives dark. It doesn't give like bright. When I think of like animation, like Moana is a very bright film.
Yeah, but The Wish isn't a very bright theme, is it?
You're literally wishing on stars. Can't get much brighter than that.
Dark sorcerer in the castle.
Yeah. What about you?
Raya and the Last Dragon.
What, in Overhated?
It got a lot of hate.
It did.
I can see a lot of hate still for it online. People ripping into it, saying the characters were dry, it was boring.
It's in my top 10.
It's in my top 10 too.
So I'll get to why I completely disagree.
But I've had to defend it in this Overhated bit as well as putting it in my top 10.
I think that's fair.
People hating on Sisu, people hating on all of it.
What?
Yeah, people saying she was like annoying.
They're annoying.
Exactly.
Okay.
I love Raya and the Last Dragon.
Honourable mentions.
No, wait, I've got another Overhated.
Oh, okay.
You always rush ahead. You just never want to hear what I want to say.
Overhated. I didn't realise you had so many. Yeah, there's hate everywhere. You have to put your foot down.
Brave. On the two lists that I looked at last night when I was making this list, Brave came like over 20s. And like one of the lists had put it at 23 and another one had put it like 28.
It's not in my top 10. But it's not that far down.
No, 100%. It's not.
There aren't even that many princesses.
Exactly. She's like right at the bottom, or considered to be right at the bottom. Like there were things like Pocahontas 2 above Brave.
No.
No. Jafar's
That's
like
slander.
what's the second Aladdin?
Jafar's Return.
That was above Brave. On these lists, I was looking.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like I had to write Brave and defend her.
And yeah, her as a character, I love, but the actual film itself, though, I can see it being low.
What, Pocahontas 2 is above it?
No.
No, exactly.
Are you done?
Thank you.
That's okay. Overrated.
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty. That's my one.
I've got Overrated Sleeping Beauty.
I only have one that's overrated, and I think Sleeping Beauty, because people treat it like it's a classic, and
she's asleep for the whole film.
She's asleep.
Aurora's a rubbish princess. Who ever aspires to be like Aurora? No one.
Well, I'd like to sleep all day, to be honest.
She's terrible princess.
I'm happy with it.
What does she even do? What does she stand for?
I think...
And you're telling me that, like, no, Brave and Merida, I'm shooting from my own hand. 10 times better than Aurora.
The thing with Sleeping Beauty as a film, it just feels a bit dark. Like, Maleficent coming in, cursing a baby.
She's a really good villain.
Like, she's a great villain. So I find it less enjoyable and, honestly, a little bit more boring than the others.
So boring.
I think Sleeping Beauty's boring.
So boring.
She's sleeping.
Maleficent
so am I.
is the only one who carries it.
Do you know the best part of that film? The cake.
Yeah.
That's the best part of that film, when they're trying to keep the cake up with the broom.
Okay, my overrated, Snow White, which we've already said, and then Cinderella. Shocking. So boring. Don't get me wrong.
I'm actually, guys, for anyone listening on podcast, I'm taking off my wedding ring and I'm leaving it on the side.
The characters are amazing. Lucifer, the cat, probably one of my probably the best Disney cat.
I'm genuinely in shock. Cinderella, that is in my top 10. That is high. That is rated high on my top 10.
I just don't care for it. Gus, I love. I love all the surrounding cast.
Right, so you love everything then.
Other than the prince, and this is a top princess films list. And I hate the princess. I hate Cinderella.
Are you joking?
All she wants is just to have like dance and get it off with the prince.
That is literally that's wrong. No, I'll tell you what happens. She doesn't want to be there for the prince, right? She wants to go for some independence, right? That poor girlie loses her dad, has to make friends with mice, literal vermin, rodents, right?
Don't do Gus like that.
She dresses them, looks after them, defends them from Lucifer. She cleans the whole house. She then is so buzzing she gets an invite to the ball, makes her own dress out of her mum's old dress, and then has it ruined by the evil stepmum and the stepsisters.
Moana crosses an ocean.
It's a personal journey.
Totally overrated.
My honourable mentions are Moana 2 and Frozen 2. So the sequels that I think are almost as good as the first, almost deserve a spot, but couldn't quite get there.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen 2 for me came at just the right time when I was starting to get bored of Frozen because it was like overplayed.
It was.
So I feel like Frozen 2 came at the right time. It added a lot to the story. I really love the songs. Same with Moana 2. I feel like it gets bigger and better. I love the songs in that. I love the new characters that we get. I love the community aspect of Moana 2. So I feel like it's an honourable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Like you often say, it's building off of an idea that's already there. So therefore it's not quite a top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I love them.
Mine is Wreck-It Ralph, Princess.
We're calling that a princess film?
Vanellope or Penelope von Schweetz?
Vanellope von Schweetz.
She's a princess, and it's a very good film.
Do you like that film that much, though, to make it an honourable mention?
Yeah, I mean, it's not top 10. It's a good film. All the video game references.
It's a good film, but I don't think it's, like, an honourable mentionable.
Ralph is a lovely... You know, when he's, like, grabbing his medal...
Yeah.
And he's flying down with his fist to go, like, smash the fizzy things into the lava, the cola.
Yeah.
And what's his thing? He's like, I am a bad guy, but that doesn't mean I'm bad. He's just a really nice monologue anyway. And I was just like, I'm totally feeling this film.
I don't ever think, oh yay, I want to go and watch Wreck-It Ralph.
It's good though. I would watch Wreck-It Ralph
bad.
over Snow White, Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty.
I'm shocked.
Would you not?
No, I'd probably watch it over Sleeping Beauty, but nah, not over all the others.
My other one is Anastasia, who she only recently became a Disney princess.
Yeah, they brought like Fox or whoever did it, and so technically now Disney own it, so technically she could be considered
Have
a
you ever
princess.
seen Anastasia?
Yeah.
Really good. I love it. Bartok, the
It's
little
fine.
bat, who's like Rasputin's little kind of thing. Anastasia's amazing.
I don't
Brilliant
love
film.
it as much as other people love it.
I love it.
Shall we move on to top 10? Once again, with these lists, I find it easy to do the top ones and really hard to do the sort of like last 5.
Yep.
So this was very almost Snow White. Peeps need to be putting respect on Snow White's name. I love her. However, I did decide to go for The Little Mermaid.
10th.
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 As a whole film, something had to be 10th.
Not Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid's top 5, easily.
Is it in your top 5?
Yeah, it's Ariel.
Whoa.
You're literally wearing an Ariel hoodie.
I know. I think 10th is good. It's in my top 10. It's just there are things that I watch more that I prefer. I was looking at the whole package, not just like the songs. Like the songs are obviously incredible.
Sebastian.
Great villain. But who cares about Prince Eric?
Yeah,
Some people love that prince. For me, I don't care.
No one cares about many princes, to be fair.
Some people literally love Prince Eric. Not for me.
You've got Flounder, Sebastian, Scuttle, obviously Ursula.
Flounder is a bit annoying. Well,
It's an Alan Menken, Howard Ashman masterpiece.
Yeah, the songs. We're talking about the whole package. I don't know if you used to do this, but like when you're younger, you have like sort of ownership over something, right? Little Mermaid was always my sister's.
I was just about to say, what would your sister say to you put in this tent?
Yeah, she'd hate that.
Yeah.
I really hate that. How often do I watch Little Mermaid?
Never. But you are literally
Right.
sat in a Little Mermaid hoodie.
No, I love it. I love Ariel. It's a fantastic film, but it's tenth for me.
For me, Raya and the Last Dragon.
That's low.
No, I couldn't put it any higher. Not when you see what's above it. But it was good, and it deserves to be in the top 10 because she's brilliant. And the film's brilliant. I love Sisu.
Okay, well, let's talk about it now then. It's higher on my list. I won't reveal where, but I'll tell you why I love it now. Raya may not be a top princess like character, but the film is worthy of a high spot, I think, in a top 10. I asked I think the director or the writer or someone on Twitter ages ago, back when I used to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
Why no music? There's no songs. And it's like one of the only princess films without songs.
Did she bring that to you?
Yeah, she did. She said that whenever Raya was faced with something where usually a Disney princess would sing, her response was always to fight instead, because she's a warrior princess. And I think that's so cool.
I think the film would have been really bad if it had singing.
No, I disagree. I think they could have easily put good songs in there. Easily. What is the song in this one?
Commandra.
Commandra. Yeah, I love that song. And I thought when I first heard that was going to be the new like vibe of song that they were going to put in the film. And I was like, that's really cool. Like in Elemental, which is Pixar, but they put that song Steal the Show in the middle and do like a montage.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool vibe that I would love to see Disney princess films step into a little bit and try out. That would be cool. Sisu's the best. I love her. I love Sisu. I think Awkwafina is great at just all of the little things that you need to be really good at voice acting. Someone, anyone, even a dragon.
Do we think Awkwafina is a little bit overused now? Because I love her, don't get me wrong, I adore her, but she's now done a lot of characters.
No. Because she was in Kung Fu Panda 4 or 3, one of them.
She was also Scuttle in the live action Little Mermaid.
I think she's great because her voice is so different.
That's why I don't want to see her overused, because like for me, she's Sisu.
Yeah, for me,
so
she's
if I
Sisu.
see her do loads of other characters, I don't want to have to be like, oh, she's someone and someone and someone.
I don't mind. I'm like, you get that money, girl.
It's a bit like, you know how Tom Hanks is Woody? Like, could you imagine now if Tom Hanks was now another Disney character? And you'd be like, no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I love that in the film, it's not just about Raya. It's about all of the characters and their little sort of like band of people that go around.
Boone in his boat.
Boone is so cute.
Yeah, Boone's cute.
I've literally written, right, things that I thought I'd hate, they managed to pull off. So I feel like the fact that they've got like, you know, the baby with the ongies, the little monkey things. Yeah. And I've literally put, it feels DreamWorks.
It
like,
definitely does.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like a DreamWorks concept.
Yeah,
but it works.
Yeah.
I think they managed to take it and make it really good and classy in Disney. But the idea of like a kind of karate baby is very DreamWorks.
Very. I like the baddies being Droon.
Definitely good baddies. And I think the whole idea of like sort of communities turning on each other and things like that and like putting too much trust in someone and then still having that trust, I think so many lessons can come out of that film. We watched it during the pandemic and I feel like for me, it added to how special it was. And there were lots of points that I got really emotional, especially with Boone on the boat. Yeah, for me, it's a lot higher than you've got it. Number 9, Aladdin.
Is exactly where I've put it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Why is it 9 for you?
Jasmine's good. I think she's great. She stands up for herself. Love her sidekick, Raja the Tiger.
Raja.
The rest of the cast, her dad, the Sultan, Aladdin and Jafar, and Iago, the parrot.
Yeah.
Really good cast. The fact I remember them all compared to Wreck-It Ralph, where I couldn't name anyone. Do you know what I mean?
I've literally written on my list, Genie alone bagged this spot.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Genie. Robin Williams was one of those, like, deaths where I genuinely felt affected. Really affected. I can't explain it. It's so weird to feel so connected to someone who you've never met and you just really appreciate their mind. And he was a genius comedian. Him as the genie is so special in so many ways. And yeah, his death literally shook me. Like, I feel like I could get emotional about it now. Like, I found it hard to watch Mrs. Doubtfire for a long time after he died, because I just have such a love for someone who I've never met. It's so weird. Why am I crying? Pull it back. No, I genuinely feel emotional about it, because Mrs. Doubtfire is one of those things that I grew up with. The genie I grew up with. I just love Robin Williams. Why am I crying?
What are you doing?
I've lost my head. But that's why it's number 9 for me, because Aladdin to me is Genie. It is Robin Williams.
Yes, but there is also, like, you know, it's Jafar as well. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely.
And it's
but
Aladdin and Jasmine. It's all of them. That's why it's deserved of a top 10.
I find it interesting that you didn't list Genie in your character list, because
totally
to me,
forgot,
I'm like, everything else about it, I feel like is good, but Genie makes it excellent. Genie makes it top 10.
That's the first time in 3 ranking videos that we've actually placed the same
Something
thing.
the same.
Good.
Just compose myself. Jeez, didn't think we'd be getting the Kleenex out.
Why are you getting all emotional?
Sponsored by Kleenex and Stanley, because I feel like it's important. I love Robin.
We don't need to do number 9, so number 8 for you.
Frozen.
It's exactly where I put it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at us go. Okay, this is
We don't
cool.
do these together either. This
No.
is weird.
Okay, so why for you?
Obviously, it's iconic. One of the biggest, probably, princess films in the last 10 years. Don't say it's older than 10 years. I'm not that old.
It's old.
It's older than 10 years. No.
Yeah, we're in 2025. It came out in what, 2012?
No.
I don't know. Google that. Google that.
I'm not that old.
I remember we went out with my brother-in-law's new girlfriend, and I said, like, what's your favourite Disney film? And she said, oh, Frozen, because I just, like, grew up with it, so it's nostalgic. I'm like, nostalgic?
Oh, it came out in 2013.
2013.
No.
We met in 2013, didn't we?
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I mean, that's wild.
I feel like that's a recent film.
That could almost be considered vintage. I remember seeing Frozen and loving it so much. I went and got the DVD, and in the same weekend, I watched it alone, then with my mum, then I made my cousins watch it with me.
3 in one weekend.
All in one weekend, because it was so good. So I do remember being there, like, at the start of Frozen Fever, and I feel like it was all me. I was the catalyst for the success. I was going around with my DVD.
Showing your mum and your cousins, that was it.
I feel like I got it. I was on board straight away.
You got Kristen Bell, you got Idina Menzel, Josh Gad,
Jonathan
Groff.
That's
Yeah,
it.
incredible cast.
I also think that Frozen 2 lives up to the standard. I really do.
Yeah, but it builds on something amazing already. So it's like, it can't be top 10. Do you
No,
know what I mean?
I wouldn't put it top 10 because we've already got the base. But I feel like Frozen 2 does live up to the standard, which I feel like helps the whole vibe. If the sequel is a letdown, kind of makes you not enjoy the first one, because you're like, oh, but then they ruined it. You know? I really want to say as well about the Idina Menzel thing.
You're going to drop your...
I'm dropping it in.
name dropping.
I am name dropping. I don't mind.
You drop that name.
Thanks. I will. I was invited to the Frozen 2 soundtrack launch.
Oh, get you.
Thanks. I know. She's a big girly. We were at YouTube Space in London, and they were taking questions from the crowd. Can you imagine me? My arm is in the air, like literally almost dislocated my shoulder. It was Idina Menzel, Jonathan Groff, and Josh Gad.
That's quite a panel.
Sat in front of me. That's big. I genuinely, right? So when they passed me the microphone to ask my question, my heart was beating so hard in my chest, I thought I was going to pass out.
Who did you ask the question to?
Well, so I kind of opened it up to the floor, but I got a response from Idina Menzel. I asked something, because obviously it had to be music related. So I asked something along the lines of, like, is there a specific moment where you remember you had, like, an input in something? Because I wondered how much they get to sort of collaborate as well with the songwriters, and how they heard the songs first. So she said, Idina Menzel, my bestie. And then I was thinking, if I had a drag name, it could be like Idina Menzelli.
Good name.
Thanks. I've thought about this a lot. First of all, Idina Menzel, my best friend.
I can't now unhear Idina Menzelli. You're going to have to call her that now.
Idina Menzel's.
Yeah.
She said that they just kind of hear, like, Bobby and Kristen, the songwriters.
Anderson Lopez, yeah.
Yeah, icons. She hears them, just like them and piano or whatever. The memory that came to mind for her was when she was initially shown Let It Go, it was a couple of keys lower. So she would sing it lower. You know how high it is now and how it's quite hard for people to sing. It was lower. And she said she felt like she sounded old and aged. So she wanted it to sound more like juvenile. So she said we should really raise this a bit so it sounds a bit more like high and young, which is crazy. And then she was talking about how she's made it really hard for herself now to try and sing it. It was her choice.
Killer notes that she does there. So we've got two for two. Frozen and Aladdin, 8th and 9th.
Oh,
we've matched.
What I do want to say, in Frozen, not a second is wasted. You know all of the characters' like personalities really quickly. I feel like I really knew Olaf.
Sven as well.
Sven.
One of the best sidekicks.
The only reason Frozen for me is that low, overplayed, because Frozen fever happened.
Yep.
We were there when it happened. It was everywhere. It was on every piece of merch. It was so everywhere, it became too much.
I think, had we done this tier list maybe 10 years ago, I may have put it into an overrated section because we would have been mid Frozen fever.
Right. Number 7 is where I put Raya and the Last Dragon.
Okay.
So we've already spoken about it. It doesn't make top 5 or anything, but for me, it's a bit higher than where you put it.
That's fair. For me, number 7, I've got Tangled.
Oh,
Is that higher? Is that higher on yours?
Yeah.
I think when I see what's higher than Tangled, that's where I couldn't put it any higher. I couldn't pitch it against the films that I've put higher than it.
I'm like,
But Tangled is very good.
7th. I've put it 6th.
Oh, well, you weren't that much higher then. I thought you were going to be like number 4th or something.
Well, 7th feels really low. I feel like 6 is almost top 5. It was almost in my top 5, but I made a different decision.
Good story, good princess, good villain. She's good, but again, she didn't do, did she cross an ocean and save all of China? No. That's it.
She saved herself.
Yeah, but like, you can kind of tell where my bar is for princesses, you know what I mean?
I find it really interesting that it's like no longer controversial to have Tangled above Frozen. Do you remember there was a time where it was like you were the girl next door if you thought that Tangled was better than Frozen?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Now the dust has settled and actually Tangled is better than Frozen.
Tangled for me, prince, villains, princess, sidekick, soundtrack. Whole package. Also,
Alan
I love
Menken, who does the music
the
as well.
acoustic guitar vibe. Yeah. I love that. And for Tangled, I think it works really well. It also surpassed my expectations of a Rapunzel story. When I heard, Disney are making a Rapunzel, I thought, what's going on here? But then when you watch it, it's so good.
The one thing that irks me about Rapunzel?
The hair.
No.
The haircut.
The advert. Do you remember in the advert, they showed a bit that wasn't in the film, and I hate it when adverts do that.
Did they?
Yeah. Where Flynn Rider stands at the bottom of the tower and says, "Let down your hair," and he gets crushed by her hair. Or something like that. That was in the advert.
You're so right.
And that wasn't in the film.
I thought you were going to say what I hate. Why did they cut her hair so short? I'm not saying I'd get my barber scissors out and give her an accurate cut with layers and bangs, but I'm just saying a bit of length.
She looked good in the end.
Okay, Rapunzel 2. We want a Rapunzel 2. We didn't want the series.
I don't even count the series as canon. I don't even want Rapunzel 2. It was amazing. Leave it there.
I would happily have a Rapunzel 2, judging on the quality of Frozen 2. 100%.
What are you going to do, though? Mother Gothel's gone.
Is she? Dun, dun, dun.
No, I don't want to see it. No.
No, I get it. But there could be some other thing that happens.
What, the brothers that he stitched up come back? She has no even magical hair
there
anymore.
Could just be a new thing.
So it's not even going to be about her hair.
Maybe her hair comes back.
No.
Maybe she has a kid and the kid has magical hair.
I don't want to see any of this. No, this is ridiculous.
I do want to see it. What's your 6?
Princess and the Frog.
I can't believe it's not top 5.
It almost is.
Not top 5 is criminal.
Princess and the Frog. Tiana's one of the best princesses.
I'm going to hold my thoughts until we reach where it's at for me.
I bet you've put it second.
Yeah, it's second for me.
I won't say too much about it then. I think it's good though. It's top 10.
It's crazy you don't have that higher. Number 5, Cinderella.
No, I'll stop.
Cinderella for me was my childhood princess. Like, I wanted to be her. I love her. I think she's amazing. The nostalgia for me holds up. Animation for me is beautiful. You said earlier it looked old. I'm like, no, it just looks beautiful.
No, I said Snow White looked old because Snow White does look much older than Cinderella.
They just don't make them like that anymore. Like Fairy Godmother, it's such a classic.
I was trying to make a Spotify Disney playlist the other day and I was looking for Cinderella songs. And to get to the good bits of those songs, you have to wait so long. So, like, the one where it's
A Dream, is a Wish.
You've got to listen to like a minute of violins before you get there. And I just ended up not putting. And the other one, which was So This Is Love. That's like in some dancing scene. It's like 3 minutes long.
Right, they should
and
have
just
done
to get to like a minute of the bit I want.
They should have done a radio edit
Defo.
of the songs. I do agree with that, because A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes. Then you get like the chimes of the clock, and she's like, "Oh, that clock."
Yeah, I don't want that in the song.
I do
Take
agree.
it out.
But
yeah.
Bibbity Bobbity Boo.
But even that, like, all these 3 songs I wanted on my playlist, I didn't end up putting anyone in because I put in, and you get the dun 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 dun, dun, but that goes on for like a minute as well, and I'm like, get into the song, and then she sings for like 30 seconds. She's Salagadoo, let me take a bowl, and that's it. The song like pretty much ends. Like, and I'm like, that can't be playlist worthy. But I love those songs.
I'm sorry, but when you think of a princess film, Cinderella is one of the ones you think of, because it has all of the elements that I want in a princess film. And I do find it funny that everyone says, like, well, the prince doesn't even, like, do anything.
No, he doesn't.
He goes to all the feet in the kingdom just to find his foot.
Her foot.
Yeah, but, like, his.
Oh, like his foot.
The one he loves.
But did she save China and cross an ocean?
No, but I still think it deserves to be number 5. There's all of this debate these days about having to be, like, a strong, independent woman and all that, right? You can be an independent woman and fall in love. You don't have to pick one. Cinderella does both.
Did she stop the Huns from invading China?
So what's your number 5?
Little Mermaid.
What does she do? Gives away her voice for a man.
Yeah, but the rest of the cast, Sebastian, the songwriting, like, you can actually go onto the Little Mermaid soundtrack and have some bangers come on to the radio. Do you know
I
what
agree.
I mean?
Under the Sea is one of the best Disney songs.
Wild.
100%.
Part of your world.
Not every film has to be larger than life, massive. The Fairy Godmother and the whole vibe of the Fairy Godmother is so memorable and has influenced so much more around it. Cinderella is the princess film. She is the it girl. I will not be taking any Cindy slander.
Yeah, my number 5 was Little Mermaid, which we've already done. So your number 4.
Number 4 for me is Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, exactly where I put it as well.
Oh,
That's
okay.
3 we've matched on this one.
Why for you?
Bella's a fantastic princess. Beast is brilliant. Cogsworth, Lemire, Gaston, LeFou.
It's also the journey that happens throughout the film for all of their characters. But, like, in general, the storyline of Beauty and the Beast is so, so strong. The fact that it opens up with Belle, the song Belle, and...
Again, soundtrack, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal soundtrack.
And Be Our Guest.
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury, for me, is the reason why this was number 4, because I almost put it a tiny bit lower, and I thought, no, this film for me captured something that I wish I could, like, put in a bottle and keep. It doesn't matter how many times you watch that film, it's so good.
Fairly older animation, but where I think it's so much better than things like Snow White and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty is because the colour palette, I can visualise that blue and gold of her dress and the blue on Beast's jacket.
And
I can
the Be Our Guest
Yeah.
part as well, where it gets like a little bit like purple and
Yeah.
stuff like in
I can proper
chips.
see that and feel like I can reach out and see it. Whereas I just don't feel like such a strong visual colour palette from the other films.
Fair.
Whereas like Mulan's very red as well, and Moana's obviously very brown and earthy with the blue of the ocean. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like, yeah, I just think it's really strong, and the soundtrack's strong, the characters are strong, the story's great, the setting's great, perfect princess.
I don't know if a lot of people know that like Angela Lansbury wasn't meant to sing. She signed up to do Beauty and the Beast, and she said, "Cool, I'm excited about it. You'll have to get someone else to sing the song." And then it came to when they were recording, and Alan Menken and Howard Ashman brought her in and said, just do a take, just so like we get the vibe of it, and you know, you can like half speak it if you want to, like no prash. That's what they said. They literally said no prash, like that's a direct quote.
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury came in and did the take that you hear on the soundtrack today.
One take.
One take. It is so special. What I don't like about some of the later films that we've got is it feels like they're scared of something sounding slightly imperfect. They want to like auto-tune it or like really compress it or something, whereas Angela Lansbury's performance and the emotion and heart that is in it and like the acting that is in it is what makes Tale as Old as Time so special.
Next up then, number 3, because my 4 was the same as yours.
Number 3 is Moana.
Exactly same here. That's 4 we've
Wow.
matched. Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun.
She crossed an ocean. Maui, Pua, Hey,
Right.
Tamatoa, Tekka, her dad and mum.
You just list characters.
Yeah, I know, but it's in like, because they're
When you like a
amazing
film.
parts. Grandma Tala, the story's amazing.
Moana herself is one of my favourite characters.
Yeah.
I think she's great. It doesn't focus on a love story, which I love a love story, but I love that this one isn't a love story as well.
Defo, yeah,
I'm happy either way.
Yeah.
The music like truly sets the scene for this film. It's so Like, it's just perfection. Like, everything matches. I feel like the characters match, the setting, the colour palette, like everything. The slow motion at the end, the big sort of finale slow motion, doesn't feel cheesy.
No.
It feels like, and it could easily feel cheesy. Cheesy slow-mo. But it's not. It actually is really emotional. And that is because it is the perfect blend of the visuals, the soundtrack, and the characters, and the arc of the characters, and just... everything about it is perfection. Rewatchable and hilarious. My only critique of Moana, what is it?
Pua doesn't get on the boat.
Pua doesn't get on the boat.
He comes the second time, though.
But in all of the marketing for Moana 1, Pua was the main guy.
Yeah.
Right? And like all of the merch was Pua. And he's in it about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Gets scared of the ocean and goes. Gutted. I was gutted.
I think Moana 2 is better than Moana 1.
It's very close. I personally love Moana 2 a lot more than I've seen other people love it. Moana 2 is not just about Moana. It's about the whole community, what it means, the people coming together. I'm interested to see where the Moana story goes now. Okay.
Number 2 for you, because we matched.
Number 2 for me is Princess and the Frog.
Fair.
I feel like it's still underrated. I feel like you can't love this film enough. The soundtrack, incredible.
Annika Noni
You
Rose
gotta
sings it, yeah.
dig a little deeper. The last 2D animated princess film, and it looks beautiful, by the way. Talking of colour palette,
Yeah.
you think of like the sort
purples
of like
and greens I can see.
the greens and the sort of like midnight sky, like sort of indigo blue. Like it has a whole vibe to that film.
Look how she lights up
The sky.
Yeah, really
But
good.
also, talking of lighting up the sky, the whole story is obviously a journey for like Tiana and Naveen, right? Her realising that, yeah, you've got to work hard and blah, blah, blah to get what you want. There are no shortcuts, but she also accidentally stumbles upon love. Love it. Like you don't realise what's right in front of you. That kind of vibe. I love a love story, but also it's hard work, not magic. That gets her there. Hard
There
work.
was magic though, because they became frogs, and there was the Shadow Man.
She doesn't personally have a power, is what I mean. Like Elsa has ice powers.
Yeah.
Like Tiana is just a normal girly. And that's the part I really like. Ray and Evangeline, the stars together in the sky.
Yeah.
Stunning. The villain,
Shadow Man.
actually bad.
Yeah, Dr. Facilier.
We love a bad baddie.
Yeah.
What I've also put on here is it gives Wizard of Oz vibes.
Well, I would have never made that association.
Right, here's for why. They're going on a journey and they pick up people on the way who want something.
Yeah.
So like Lewis wants to go and be a human so that he can...
And his trumpet.
Right. And I mean it in a good way, like Wizard of Oz vibes, because they are all working towards a goal and then they get there and then they don't get it. But they kind of do get it because they learn it themselves. And that's the kind of Wizard of Oz connection for me, is like they're all a gang of friends going on a journey and they want something, but they don't get it through magic. They get it a different way. I absolutely love The Princess and the Frog, and it is one of my top recommendations for anyone wanting to watch any Disney film ever. We stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter in Walt Disney World for our honeymoon,
Yeah, really good.
and just the theming.
I love the whole New Orleans vibe and the food and everything about it. When we stayed there, we ate, didn't we? All the gumbo and jambalaya and fantastic food.
2 for you?
Number 2 for me, which unless you put it first, I don't think you've got it on your list. Pocahontas.
It's not on my list.
That's disgusting. Pocahontas is not on your list.
It's not on my list.
Pocahontas is one of the best Disney princesses and universally known.
No, but it's about the film.
The film is fantastic. You've got John Smith and Ratcliffe and the chief, and they nearly go to war, and then she stops a whole war happening by her love for John Smith, and I just love it.
It's never been one of my top films.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but like, what would you take out of my list? This is what I don't understand. Like, what are you taking out? You can't take out Tangled, Raya, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Frozen. You're not taking it out. You would probably take out Cinderella, but I ain't taking out Cinderella.
Yeah, I probably would for Pocahontas.
Some of the songs in Pocahontas are not as good.
Like what?
My boy.
Yeah, my minute. Yeah, no, the gold of Cortez.
What other songs are
jewels
there?
of Pizarro will seem like mere trinkets by this time tomorrow. There's Just Around the River Bend. There's
That's a good one.
Colours of the Wind. There's the
Yeah,
opening
that's a good
song
one.
that's like in 1607.
No.
We sailed the open seas.
It's
incredible.
The only 2 good songs that I really, really love in Pocahontas, if we're talking like love, is Colours of the Wind and Just Around the River Bend.
There's Savages as well. It's like Savages. It's fantastic. It's so, so good.
I'm sorry, it's not a vibe for me.
I love the story. I love the message. I love everything about it. And I love Miko and
I
Percy.
love Nico. But they're just characters that I love. I don't love the whole film as a package.
Together they make all of it. No, Pocahontas is the second best princess film for me.
We'll do number one after 3, 3, 2, 1. Mulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
She saves China.
Mulan. The film's epic, right?
It's the best Disney princess film of all time.
Shan Yu is a bad baddie.
He's the best baddie. So I know you were saying Dr. Facilier is bad. I think he's up there. Shan Yu, Dr. Facilier, and Judge Claude Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame
he's a freaky baddie.
are the 3 top Disney baddies, and I don't think they've ever reached that level of baddies recently.
I think Pixar, like Lotso, is a bad baddie. I love him.
Yeah, but he's not as scary.
Not as scary.
Yeah, Dr. Facilier and Judge Claude Frollo and Shan Yu, proper scary villains.
The animation in Mulan, have you ever noticed how subtle it is when they get to the bit where they get to the village and there are a lot of bodies? When I was younger, I didn't clock that they were bodies.
No.
It's done so subtly in the way that they represent that to the audience that you only know if you're looking properly as an adult, I think.
I think subtle things as well. When the grandma has the crash in the road, do you notice that the clouds do like a really kind of like traditional Chinese style drawing? They're kind of all like spirally and stuff like that. The art style is fantastic. Yeah. I love it.
The soundtrack, bangers.
Phenomenal.
It's full of bangers. There is not one bad song in Mulan.
Nope.
And have you ever noticed that after they hit that point where they're like, war, there's no more singing?
No.
Like, that as an artistic choice is incredible.
Yeah.
I would have loved if they would have done that type of thing with Raya and the Last Dragon, maybe, where there's like a bit of joy at the start. Mulan feels like a joyful film to me.
Yeah.
We're literally at war, but it feels joyful.
Yeah.
How the balance.
Mushu and Cricky and Khan, the horse.
Yes.
Fantastic. Love interest. But they're not love interest. That's not, it's such a side thing for her.
Yes.
It's not like she falls in love and, she's not all pathetic for him.
She goes and the whole film happens because she wants to protect her dad. Top tier reasoning.
Selflessness, isn't it?
Yeah. That is a princess to me.
Yeah.
Selfless.
But tough and saves all of China.
Yeah. Risks her whole life. It's really quoteable too.
Very quotable, very funny.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Who are you? Excuse me? I think the question is, who are you? We're in a war, man. Ain't no time for stupid questions yet. I should have your hat for that. Snatch it right off your head.
And on that, Mushu is excellent.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy, phenomenal.
Right. Eddie Murphy is like genie, Robin Williams level of genius. And I feel like there is not enough hype for Mushu.
We never see him. Like, he's never at the parks or never just out. Do you know what I mean?
Right. He's considered a rare character at the parks.
Very rare.
But why is he not like on all the merch? Yeah. And just, he is for me one of the iconic Disney characters.
So the Chinese lunar years goes by animal and they cycle through like every 12 years. I wonder if we'll see Mushu on Disney merch when it's the Year of the Dragon again.
No, because it was the Year of the Dragon last year and they didn't do anything.
What? They missed a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
That stinks. We might have to wait another 11 years.
That is stinking up the place. We've been making like missing Disney songs, or we used to back in the day. It's been a few years. And one of the ones that we did was a Mushu missing Disney song. I mean, we can play a bit because it's not copyright because we own it. Maybe we'll put the missing Disney song at the end for you to hear.
Yeah.
As a little fade out. Yeah. So you'll hear that in a minute. When I was younger, I didn't understand that Mushu literally basically gives away the plot at the start and has a plan to make her a hero of war. He literally says it, but it's so passing and so quick. You just like miss it. Like it's a blink and you'll miss it sentence. The song that we wrote would be giving it all away a bit more explicitly.
Stevie Wonder, True to Your Heart, the outro song of that film.
Yeah.
True to your heart. You must be true.
Underrated.
Yeah,
see?
really good. Just every minute of it, even the credits are perfect.
I think that's the end of our list then.
I think so. We matched 5.
Yeah, half the list being identical is pretty good. I would love to know your guys' list. Let us know what is your top, what is not on our list that should be on our list. It's time for Controversial Corner. Excellent.
Very good.
We bring a controversial statement every week and discuss this week. Disney should bring back 2D animation and wish the Disney 100 film should have been in proper 2D animation.
They didn't go far enough.
With which, they basically did a 2-in-1 situation where they went back and sort of like rendered it to look like it had been kind of hand-drawn. And I think that's ultimately why it feels a bit flat and the colours feel a bit washed out. They didn't commit to a style.
No.
Commit to one. Doing 2D animation for your Disney 100 film would have been perfect. Bring it back. Judging by the quality of something like Princess and the Frog, so the last ever one they did, and the timelessness that the older ones have, like Beauty and the Beast, why would they not?
Beauty and the Beast, Jungle Book, Lion King, Mulan, Aladdin, they're all timeless because that kind of 2D doesn't age. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like some of the early stuff has aged a bit, but I feel like the newer ones, the 90s ones, were fine.
Frozen, the first one, already you can slightly see it starting to age.
It is aging.
It just doesn't have the same kind of magic. I feel like they do really well in films like Moana to make it feel magical because of the colours that they go for. But you can't always have everything being bright and colourful to make up for the fact that it's like, can sometimes be just, aging badly. 2D animation needs to make a comeback, please.
Yeah, I don't think it's that controversial a statement. Maybe some people would say that's ridiculous. It's a lot of effort.
The whole thing with Wish, they were really inspired by things like the look of Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella, like one of the old classics, where if you were to pause it, every single second is a work of art.
Every shot is a potential. Yeah.
So you could screenshot it and have it as like an art piece in your room. Princess and the Frog has the same quality, but I feel like as we move on into the 3D animation, it does lose that like artistry. And I don't mean put it on Disney Plus and all of that. I mean put it on the big screen and make it a proper moment. I think they should have done that with Wish, and I think that's probably part of the reason why it didn't do as well, is because they didn't commit to the art style.
I totally agree.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Elz Tells.
See you next time.
See you next time.
I've lost the faith of all the ancestors. Can't they give a dragon a break? I'm marching off to war with Mulan to see if I can seal her fate. A quest to help Mulan defeat the Huns, and when the battle's done and won, I can fulfill my role as guardian, no longer the demoted one. There's danger in her disguise, but I will be by her side. Just try to bring her home alive. Her honor will be revived. I've got some luck inside this cricket, and with our cow to travel on, we will fight the Huns till they are gone. Our soldiers can return to where they are from. There's danger in her disguise, but I will be by her side. Just try to bring her home alive. Her honor will be revived.